All right, welcome to the test of the Goober Support podcast.
It's Zach and Matt in the morning, but I'm not Matt.
Zach and Matt in the morning, but he is not, in fact, Matt. So either this will be good enough to put out somewhere and you're watching it right now, or it'll never see the light of day.
I'm going with the second one.
Yeah, right. Today we're going to go over, just going to browse the internet and look at some Black Friday deals, kind of give our 2 cents, and then maybe at the end wrap up with kind of our overall thoughts on what is a good deal, what to look for in some of those gifts that everybody is shopping around for. TVs, speakers, computers, all that good stuff. Basically anything that is tech related, if it plugs in or has a battery. So I know we both have kind of a collection of articles with some good deals listed to go through. We're going to list out where deals are coming from, and I guess we'll just do like 2 or 3 apiece and just kind of go down the line.
Yeah, it sounds right for me.
So I was on techradar.com. I do browse this website quite a bit. They do lots of good rumors, and anytime you have new Apple devices coming out, iPhones and stuff like that, they're always getting early looks and early peeks. But they have some pretty good deals listed right now. So the first one I have up is the Echo Pop Bundle. So this is going to be the new Amazon Echo Pop, which is their Alexa-enabled device, has a speaker built into it. Not a fantastic speaker, but it is enough to play some music to yourself.
Yeah, something you have to sound around the house.
Yeah, but the big thing is that it's going to come with the TP-Link Kasa smart bulb. This is normally $63. Now I don't know if Amazon's doing some price inflation on that and then marking it down. They are kind of known to do that, but it is listed for $18 right now, which is a 71% discount over its sticker price, which is pretty steep, especially with these smart bulbs. They can go for quite a bit of money. So you're getting the Echo with it as well, so you'll be able to actually control the thing. So it's kind of a good starter kit. $18, I mean, that makes it a pretty decent stocking stuffer.
Yeah, something for anyone. I mean, mom, dad, grandma and grandpa.
Yeah. And Alex is reminding me in the chat here, he's sitting behind the scenes, man in the chair. He did say all links will be in the description, so we'll go ahead and get those posted out for you so you can follow these as well. They also have Apple AirPods, second generation, $99. They were originally listed at $159 when they came out, and that is also through Amazon. And they are the Gen 2, so that mean that.
Yeah, so it's about only 1 year old at this point.
Yeah.
The last generation of that specific model, but still good headset, still good workhorse, wireless charging and everything involved too.
Yeah, the wireless charging, and of course you get that giant container to carry them around in. Hopefully you don't lose them. It's always, I'm not a fan of the wireless, but if you're going to go wireless, they are kind of the most ubiquitous.
Yeah. I definitely lost my fair share in the couch, but hey, they got that chime, so you can easily find them again.
The next one on there, the Amazon Echo Show. This is the Show 8, which is the 2021 model. So a little bit older. This is the one with the screen on it. It's about a 5 or 6 inch screen. Just gives you some displays. You can see the weather on it, see the time. Of course, you're asking it all the normal Alexa questions. Originally listed at $130. That is also going to be $50 again at Amazon or corporate overlords. But if you're looking to add some Alexa to your house, and hopefully I'm not triggering them all by saying that word out loud, but if you're looking to add a little bit of that voice functionality, you got to have some device to host it all, and this is kind of one of the better hubs. I could definitely see this being right next to where I keep my keys in the morning, see the weather, and just make sure. Something. Yeah. Oh, do I have to grab a jacket today or put on the snow boots or whatever? Winter is coming, by the way. So.
Yep, and I like these because they get the camera right on there, so you give them out to your family and friends and everything, and then you can immediately call them up and have a voice chat right there and video chat as well. You don't have to pull your cell phone. It's great. I got one at my mom's house, and she's got it right on the kitchen counter. So when we're cooking, so we'll call each other up and just kind of chat while we're cooking. Almost feels like she's back home with us.
All right, I'm gonna let you take over a little bit. What have you been finding?
So I've been mostly heading over to CNET We got some good deals going for like TVs and smart home, kind of more stuff like that, kind of what you're going off of. We're going with a Roku 4K plus, so that's a good, stick that plops in your TV, gives it all the smart capability. You don't have to go out and run out and buy a whole new TV. If it's working for you. We're looking at $25. It's a $15 savings. Again, that gives you full 4K, UHD, and it's all a little bit step up because it is the plus model. So you have a little more oomph behind it, so you can watch some of those TV shows and movies that are 4K without having to stop and buffer a little bit. I know Roku's got some fun games on there too.
Yeah.
Get a Bluetooth controller and actually could use it as a game console almost.
I like those, especially the 4K models, because everything is going to be going 4K if you're not already there. So it just kind of future-proofs it a little bit.
Right.
I pretty much can't recommend the 1080 ones anymore because it's not that much of a price difference. In fact, this one's going to be cheaper than those 1080p models now. With this deal, it's just going to last a lot longer for people and make them a lot happier over time. And it's also great gift for somebody that's a little bit older. They don't want to learn a whole new smart TV or anything. The Roku UI is pretty
bog
basic.
Standard and simple.
Yeah, pretty simple.
Can't go wrong with them.
I know we've done a lot of work for older clients getting those put in and getting people used to those, and they seem to love them. So yeah,
can't go wrong because next up on the list is also a Fire Stick TV. Same kind of thing, and actually 4K as well, $25. You're actually coming down to a $25 savings. So it's the same as the Roku, but you get a decent more savings on top of that. You actually get a more oomph to that. And again, like we were saying, Roku's kind of the simpler one, but if you have more of a tech-savvy, family member or children, the Amazon Fire Stick might be the way to go. Gives you basically a full Android experience to your cell phone on your television. So even more of those games you can get, and any app you can think of, you're getting on their Fire TV. Directly linking up with your smartphones and also your Amazon accounts, so you get Amazon Prime, because we all know we probably have Amazon Prime at this point, 2024 almost.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Most of these deals, you need Amazon Prime to take
get
full advantage of them anyway, right? So you probably have the Amazon account. Not a bad option either. The UI is not too bad that somebody couldn't learn it.
It gets a little more advanced, but still simple enough that you can do it. And again, with the bonus with the Amazon Fire is it's got Alexa built in, so immediate voice control from pressing a button on their remote. So a lot of times when I teach older people how to use their TVs, I'm just saying, press the button, tell it what you want. It's going to figure it out. It's got you covered. You're not going to try to learn your menus or anything like that.
I'm going to piggyback off of that real
Go
quick
ahead.
because maybe your TV is a little bit older and you're like, hey, I can spend $25, add this smart functionality to it. Or maybe it's just time to get a whole new TV. So Amazon 50-inch 4K Fire TV. This is the 2021 model. They have since replaced it, but this is still a great model to have. Originally listed at $450. That's down to $289.99. So $290 for a 50-inch 4K HDR10 certified. That's kind of the basic HDR certification, but for most people that's going to be enough. That's just going to add a lot more disparity between colors. So everything's going to look more vibrant. The blacks are going to be darker. Whites are going to be a little bit brighter. It should help with some of those high glare situations too.
Sometimes people like to put them in the living room, so you don't want to draw all your shades and everything just to watch a television show.
Yeah.
Or quickly, pop on something while you're all chit-chatting around the couch. So that'll help with that glare and everything and make sure it's still popping. No one's, trying to duck around and look.
$290. It already has all of that Amazon Fire capability built in. It's Alexa enabled. I mean, who doesn't want to just tell their doesn't want to tell their TV to just turn on? That's some Iron Man stuff right there. You know. And then remember, if you need help getting it hung up on the wall and mounted, I think I know a couple people that you could call. So
one or two,
just a few. Yeah. I'll let you take back over. I just want to interject with the great deal on basically the whole kit and caboodle. $290 for a 50-inch TV. If you're buying this, I'm coming over to watch the Super Bowl. That's what it comes down to.
You can't beat that. 55 inch. That's a big TV. I mean, you can definitely get bigger, but like for a decent size, that's it. I mean, most people right now, I mean, if you got a 40-inch or 30-inch right now sitting in your living room, and it's more than 5 years old, 55 inch is the exact same size, just more screen. So
that's another good point too. Just because it is a 50-inch TV doesn't mean it's going to take up your whole wall. The bezels around the outside, they've come down in size a lot, and even just the width of how far it's going to stick out from the wall.
Yeah, it's
Makes
minimal.
it makes it look a little bit more in place, even in a smaller room. So we know we're all getting to the point where we're just going to have TV screens for walls, but
Right.
this isn't quite to that level.
Still a few years out before we hit that price point. Kind of staying kind of in the smart home S. Next one I'm gonna go with the Blink mini camera. I mean, everyone's got pets at home, you know, or just trying to keep safe at home, trying to kind of watch the house when you're not away or not there. You were at $20. It's a $15 savings over on Amazon. Blink mini camera. It's a little camera, little cube guy, and stick it up pretty much anywhere. You just need a outlet anywhere, and some of them even come with batteries at some more expensive price points. But the little guys, you just stick them anywhere, and you get kind of your eyes and ears around. I know I certainly love them. I go with more Ring, but right now this Blink deal's hard to beat. But yeah, stick them up when I go on vacation. Can watch for when my dogs are there and home. Kind of keep an eye on the pups.
Yeah, for if you're looking at 1 or 2 cameras, Blink's actually, you know, it's a fantastic bargain. Comes in a little bit cheaper than the Ring stuff for sure. But if you're looking to have cameras all over your house, I do have to lean a little bit more towards the Ring equipment. It seems to be a little more on point. But if you're just looking, like you said, watch the dogs, watch a cat while you're on vacation.
1 or 2 little ones.
It's not gonna
make sure grandma's doing okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be a big deal at all to throw those in. The only thing I will say too, they do kind of go on sale all the time. So as far as like a Black Friday super deal, it's not a doorbuster for me.
No.
I'm not breaking down the walls to get it.
But if you're already looking for it, it might be something you want to take a look at.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm going to go kind of a weird turn of direction here. We've done some smart home stuff. We're doing a lot of things with screens. It's not the only tech that's on sale, though, for Black Friday. I found a little iRobot, little Roomba guy. Okay. This is the 694 robot vacuum. The big thing with iRobot and all of their competitors, too, they're adding the mop functionality in. They're adding all these extra bits and bobbles, and the actual standard vacuums have been coming down in price, which is nice if that's all you need.
Yeah.
This one is supposed to be listed at $365. It's $159 at Amazon. TechRadar is claiming this to be a new record low price. It's got almost a perfect 5-star rating on Amazon. People love this thing. I think they're great.
We have one here at the office.
We have one at the office. Yeah. If we were, running it right now, you'd hear it beeping and bopping in the background. But it's just great. If you don't have the pets around to mess with it, you leave for work in the morning, you tell it to start running at 10 o'clock in the morning or whatever the case may be.
All automated. You don't have to click a button or anything.
Right.
It just does it for you.
You set it, you leave, you're like, man, the house is a mess. You come back home. Everybody's doing the same thing. They're kicking off their shoes, they're tired, they want to just relax. And you come in the door to a clean house, already done for you. It's going to go over in the corner, it's going to empty itself. I think it's a great bargain, especially at a little bit over $200 off, if I did the math right on that. Yeah, a little bit over $200 off.
You can't even buy a decent home vacuum, not even a smart vacuum, home vacuum for that same price. So, at that point, if you're in the market for a new vacuum, or even if you're not, you just have, trying to think of a good gift idea. That might be a great gift idea for you. I've known from many times for me when I come home, not even realizing, or go to work, not even realizing that I need guests over that night. Or just out of the spur of the blue, Zach wants to stop on over. Yeah. I know when I come home, I'm not going to have dog hair everywhere all the floor. I know that Rooma's got my back, and it's got to be clean throughout the day. So, and especially if you have one of those mopping variants, you're perfectly fine once you get home.
Yeah, this one is not the mop variant. That's the only disclaimer, the only warning on that is the newer models are coming with that ability to do the carpeted and the dry floors and kind of just take care of everything. Yeah. But you're looking at at least $800 usually for one of those models. So it is a good deal if you just need that little quick pickup vacuum cleaner. And obviously it will work on hard floor too. So the other one that I have, kind of keeping in the same sort of appliance space, air fryers. Everybody's talking about it. This one's a 5-quart air fryer from Gourmia. I'm not
That's a good size,
100%. Yeah, not 100% familiar with that brand, but it's a decent size. You're going to be able to get all your French fries out, all your, I like to do Brussels sprouts in mine at home. That gets them extra crispy. So whatever you're looking for, a little bit of a healthier style. Supposed to be $80, $59.98.
Oh,
so not a huge discount there.
Not a huge discount, but
$20, but if you're budgeting for the holidays and you just are trying to pinch pennies wherever possible, it's a good deal, and it's a really good size one, like you said, the 5-quart.
That's a good size. I would say probably a 2-person, maybe 3-person family.
Yeah.
Perfectly sized, making dinner and everything. Again, like you said, toss some Brussels sprouts in there. You can make your own fresh home French fries, anything.
You go through some blogs on like Pinterest or something too, and there
you're gonna find
are tons of recipes. I've seen people making cake in those, so definitely a multi-use appliance for sure.
Yeah. And it's one of the bin variants, not the almost like your old toaster oven where you load it in the front with the trays and everything. It's a bin, so you can make a lot of those recipes. Most of them rely on having those bins. So no, it's great. And it has all the different features, not just your standard air fryer looks and seems as well. So it's got a couple extra additional features you want to take a look at, and that's also found on Amazon.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, as I continue to scroll here, have you been finding anything else?
I found a couple. So we're actually looking at more of laptop deals-wise, still on CNET over there.
Okay.
If I can find my tab again. Yeah, so we have an HP Pavilion, which some people like them pretty good. Not the brand I would usually go for right away, but it's a good stellar deal. $650 for an HP Pavilion 14. It's not a huge laptop. That's a $300 savings. So it gives you 16 gigs of RAM and a 512 SSD. So I mean that's a good bang for the buck. Core i5. I mean, you pretty much can't beat that. Anything you need to do, whether you're just going on Facebook or working, doing some documenting, that's going to hit all the features you need, giving you all the same ports. It's not like the laptops back in the day where you get like one port and that's it, and basically you charge and can't touch it. No, you're getting your HDMIs, your full-size USB, a headphone jack and everything. So you're looking at a pretty good laptop. Newer one, but again, still bringing back the old ports and everything. That one's still missing.
The Pavilion line, again, not huge fans of HP for a lot of their more budget-friendly models especially, but the Pavilion line seems to be an extra step above their bottom-of-the-bin bargain.
More business grade.
Yes, and they seem to hold up a little bit. Nothing really bad to say about that one. That's a decent deal.
Yeah, $300 off. You can't beat that, especially if you're looking for like a high schooler's new laptop or even for dad or something. Yeah, no, it's not bad.
We could probably fill this whole show with just going through laptop deals. There are a ton, so that's why.
I just want to point that one specifically out because it looked like a pretty good deal. A couple of different deals from Apple, but they always do their Black Friday deals, and they're looking all around about $200 off from most of their models. So you could probably find those around, a couple direct from Apple and some on Amazon and Best Buy as well.
Yeah, Apple, unless you're buying renewed or refurbished, you're not going to see the crazy
not the crazy
like
deals.
50% off, $500 off. They're just not about that. That's just not how they do their sales. We've seen that.
They know if you want an Apple, you're probably going to get an Apple,
Yeah.
which I don't fault them at all for. But definitely, I used to be a big Apple guy, and I wish they had more sales. But
really, what the sale does is it pays for your Apple Care
Yes.
Plus is really the discount. You want to just roll that right into getting that Apple Care because, of course, if something goes wrong, if you're not aware, it can be hard
Pricey.
to fix anything on an Apple device. Your local computer repair shop's probably going to turn you away and send you right back to the Apple Store. So, got two smaller ones here. Now, again, these are not going to be huge savings on these, but these could be great little quick pickup gifts. Kasa Smart Plug Minis. So these are Alexa-enabled smart plugs. So turn your lights on. Excuse me, turn TVs on, whatever you need to do. You get 4 of them, and they're supposed to be $30, on sale for $22. Again, that is on Amazon. So great stocking stuffer. And hey, you know what? If you really want to be cheap with it, you break apart that 4-pack and you only give one to everybody.
Per student.
Right?
Per kid. No, I totally get that.
Here you go, kids. Now, great for that time when you're like, man, there's that one light. I have this situation. There's one light in my living room that's tucked back in the corner. The socket is not attached to a light switch. It's the most pain in my rear end one to go turn on. If I could just shout into the void for it to turn on and it just does it, it would make my life a lot easier. I'm sure everybody has some appliance like that they're like, Man, I just don't want to reach back there and unplug the thing.
Right, or have to go, fiddle with it.
Yeah. And then the next one, do not get this for your wife. But we got a Eufy Smart Scale.
Oh, goodness.
So it's normally $30, on sale for $23.98 at Amazon. It's going to measure not only your weight, but it's also going to track your BMI, your bone mass, muscle mass. I don't know how much stock you're putting into that being measured off the scale and not from an actual medical professional.
Yeah.
But for $24, just to keep an eye on things if you are dieting or trying to slim
going
down.
on that journey.
Right. And you can get a close enough number to what you're looking for there. Again, do not buy this for your wife. She's going to think that you're calling her fat. That's going to be a bad deal. We're not trying to get anybody in the doghouse, okay?
Right. Especially not around the holidays.
Yeah. Unless they're fitness minded. Maybe, if
And kind of going off that fitness minus, we got a couple deals over on Fitbit. So
Okay.
it's their Versa 4 smartwatch. You're looking at about a $50 saving on there. And again, all of your brands, Amazon, Best Buy, whatnot, all have about a $25 saving right there. That's coming with your GPS, your step tracking, your kind of general fitness tracking, along with some sleep tracking. So, and we all know Fitbit's a brand that's been along for a while.
Yeah.
And they've actually been recently bought out by Samsung. So even a bigger brand kind of backing them. So if you're definitely on that fitness journey, that's definitely something you can take a look at. Can't beat to have just a watch on your wrist, but also tracking all that fitness data. I know I definitely do it myself. Just kind of keep yourself going in shape, kind of give you those reminders once in a while to make sure you kind of get up and take a breath, get outside, see, touch some grass, as we say. So yeah, no, it's a good one. It's a 1.69 inch screen. So pretty decent size, but not going to be a honker on your wrist.
if you're running Android anyway, a lot of direct integration with Android. If you're on iPhone, it will work, but you're probably better off going the Apple Watch route.
Yeah.
It'll be a little more limited with its functionality. Now, I do know that most of the Fitbit models, they're not going to get text, they're not going to get calls. They might show you a notification that you've received a text or a call,
but they might not read it out.
Answer it or respond to it on that. It is going to be mostly a fitness tracker, which for some people, not having that distraction is actually a benefit.
A benefit to it.
Right.
Yep.
So,
and especially at $150, you can't beat that price point. I mean, if you're talking Apple or Samsung, you're immediately adding an extra zero onto that end, almost.
Yeah.
Depending on the exact model. I know with those iPhone Pro Maxes and stuff, they can get some pricey, and especially for the watch variants too. So.
Well, if you're going to get up and you're going to go running every morning, you're going to go for that jog. I mean, maybe that's going to be your New Year's resolution, right? You're going to need some energy to do that. Keurig's been around for a while.
Oh, yeah. I think if you don't know what a Keurig is, what rock are you still living under?
It feels like Band-Aid at this point. Like you just call a coffee maker a Keurig now. Their K compact coffee maker, it's normally $100. It's going to be on sale for $50 at Amazon right now. That's the best price we've seen this year, according to Tech Radar. They're pretty good at tracking those things too, so that's probably a legitimate claim. This is the straight up standard one. It makes coffee. It's not going to do your milk frothing or anything like that.
Your pot in there and it brews.
And it brews. It can go up to 10 ounces at a time, so it's a little bit of a smaller cup size one.
Yeah.
I know the one that we have at the office here, for me, the Coffee Fanatic, we're going up to I think 16 ounce or 20 ounce. I need it in the morning.
Yeah.
But this one,
cup.
I really see this being perfect for somebody in a very small apartment or a dorm room.
Yep.
If you have any college kids on your your gift
Going
shopping.
back in spring.
Yeah, it's a small model. I mean, it's called the K Compact. It is meant to be a small model. You can almost hide it away. The other thing that I like about the Keurigs versus getting the whole drip pour setup, drip brew setup, it's so much easier if you're not an avid coffee drinker. If you only do that once a week, you can hide it in a cabinet, pull it down, put the water in it, get your one cup out of the way. And if you're worried about the environment, they do make reusable K-Cup pods.
Yep.
That's what I used to do at home.
Them when I make my tea and all.
Yeah.
It's easy. Just pop your tea leaves in there and then just hit a brew.
Yeah, so if that's a concern, I know that there are K-Cup companies that are really putting an initiative out there to use recycled materials in their design and everything, but that's probably the best way to do it, is just get a reusable one and buy bagged coffee from Walmart or wherever you normally go grocery shopping and just fill it up as you go. So
kind of sticking on that kitchen kind of ask. We got the KitchenAid 5.5 quart bowl mixer, kind of like your mom style mixer. We're seeing a huge comeback for that, which I am definitely an avid of. Being a baker and everything at home, just kind of as a hobby. We're looking at almost half off. We're looking at $249.99, normally $449. So a pretty stinking good deal. And that's over at Target. All your whole heart's content of all your colors, black, gray, red, and kind of more of a tealy mint. So, and I mean, that gives you everything, all your adapters, your mixers, your kneaders, everything. So, I mean, if you're even thinking about getting into baking or a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, or anything, it's a great mixer. I mean, they last forever. I mean, I'm sure if you go to your mom's house, they probably got the same one up in a cabinet somewhere. Might need a little TLC, but it's up and ripping and roaring. So, no, that one's a great deal. And, no, it's a good model, 5.5 quart. That's a good size. You can make a lot of bread with that guy.
The KitchenAid brand, they're probably the most well-known in that area, the mixer area. The big benefit, I would say, to having a KitchenAid versus another brand is like all of the attachments that you get as part of that you can use. So if you're out there whipping up stuff in the kitchen all the time, that could be honestly like life-changing. And the amount of time saving that you can get from that. And they do not go on sale that often.
No,
so
it's
very actually rare. It's a really good deal. I might have to. Can you send me that link?
Yeah, no, totally. It'll be in the link to the description. And especially it does have that front attachment, so you can get your spaghetti,
cheese graters. I've seen pasta makers.
You've got your meat grinders. Basically anything you can throw at it. And I know a lot of people have aftermarket attachments for KitchenAid as well. So, I mean, you can basically make a whole meal just with the KitchenAid itself. You just need something to cook it in. So, it's a pretty good one.
Perfect, yeah. I did take a stroll around, and this is not just even here today. I was taking a stroll last night down the internet to see if there were any game consoles on a really good sale. That's always a popular choice. We have the newest generation Nintendo Switch. Technically, the OLED model is the new generation one.
One step up.
One step up from the basic Switch. The PlayStation 5, which just came out with their slim model, but that was just a drop-in replacement for the old model. And the Xbox Series S and X. I hate their naming convention, but that's what it is. I've not been finding great deals on those, so I just want to throw that out there. I've been seeing about $40 to $50 off bundles for all those consoles. So they're not only charging you the price of the console, they're charging you for that first game that you're getting with it, and then you're only saving $50 on that, which is the price of the game.
The game,
so
you
really
get a game free.
You just get the game for free. So if you're shopping for one of those and you're worried that you haven't been able to find a good deal on it,
it doesn't look like there's one out there.
It looks like that's about it for now. Now, maybe later into the season, as they're trying to like really clear them out, you'll see one. But it's about $300 to $350 for the Nintendo Switch, $500 for both the PlayStation and the Xbox. So if you're seeing a deal out there that is like way lower than that, be a little skeptical because it's probably not legitimate. If you're
too good to be true.
Absolutely. If you're seeing it for about $100 off of that, you could have come across a gem that maybe we just didn't find. But that's just something to throw out there and keep in mind because there's not a lot of good deals on that stuff this year. It's just not happening.
No, it's not going on. Same thing kind of same with the gaming aspects. If you're more into a VR gamer, if your kid wants to play more VR games, definitely get more active. I know personally I like to play some VR games myself. We have the Quest 2, which is a good headset, but it is last generation. And it looks like normally it's $300 and they have a $50 off. Not a great deal. Definitely if you were in the market going for one, maybe. But I think we might want to say hold off, especially with that Quest 3 just coming out, sitting at $500. Doesn't look like there's any deals going on right now. And that's right now if you can get any stock even in, which is definitely a drastic step up from a Quest 2. So again, you might want to hold off until maybe closer to Christmas or next year. It's not looking like there's any good deals, but if you're hard set on getting one, there is a slight deal on the Quest 2.
About half the price for half the performance.
Yeah.
So in that mindset, it could be worth it if that's what your
you
budget absolutely allows. Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, you probably want to hold off for that 3 in a couple
Yeah.
months. It'll probably come down, probably the same amount of money, probably $20 to $50 anyway.
Right.
So
That's what we're hoping come around Christmas time.
we're about halfway through the time that I wanted to go through. I want to go through some more generalized tips, kind of talk about TVs and computers and what you should be looking for with the rest of our time. Do you have any buzzer beaters that you would like to
I don't
slip
got
in
any
there?
buzzer beaters. No.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, all right. TVs are, it's an easy place to start. They're always a hot deal to grab at Black Friday. I remember seeing videos from 15 years ago before everything went online of, people running each other over at Best Buy for TVs, and it's always a big deal. 2023, we're buying them online. We're probably getting them through Best Buy, Amazon. What should people be looking for in a TV nowadays? What are some of our rules of thumb?
Nowadays, rule of thumbs, if you're not getting a smart TV, at that point, I wouldn't suggest even buying it. A lot of times with smart TVs, Roku, Amazon, Vizio, Samsung, Google, all the buzzwords, they usually subsidize and put decent discounts on the TV itself. You could buy the same TV from TLC or Hisense, smart or not smart, and the smart TV would actually be probably $100 to $200 cheaper, depending on the specific model and size and everything. So you're immediately seeing some savings there, even if it's not specifically discounted at that time. So if you're not going smart, there's no reason really to go. Because everything's going smart these days. Everything's going streaming. Everyone's cutting their cords. So there's no reason to
well, like you said,
kind of stay in the past at this point.
Amazon or Roku, whoever's making the software behind that device, they're going to help pay for your TV.
Right.
And all you have to do is just have their buttons on there.
Yeah.
If you want to use it as a dumb TV, that functionality is still there. It's not taking it away from you, but you're going to get a bigger discount, like you said, especially at Black Friday time. These tech companies realize that. Resolution. There's really two big ones in the TV industry. You have 1080p
and 4K.
And 4K. I have even seen some 720p out there. So just real quick to describe what those words even mean, because some people still don't know that, and that's absolutely fine. Resolution is going to be how many pixels are on the screen.
All right, each little light.
Each little light. So with higher resolution, you get finer details, and I'm oversimplifying here, but if you have a good enough source for your video, it's going to look better at a 4K resolution than at a 1080p resolution. Well, first off, let's just throw one right out of the water. I would not buy 720p in 2023, period.
Or what they would consider HD, unfortunately.
Yeah. I would throw that right out. 1080p versus 4K, it gets a little muddier. Right. Basically, anything above, I would say 43-inch is normally a standard class for a TV. 43-inch and up.
You got to start going 4K.
I'm starting to look at 4K.
You might want to, that last bit, 43, 45-inch, you might be able to get with a 1080p.
Yes.
But at that point, you're really stretching it, especially if you're sitting close to the TV or in a smaller viewing area. You really would get start to see those pixels. Like they would start to be very noticeable. You're talking the size of the head of a racer almost. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but you're going to really start noticing those edges and everything. While 4K starting that might not be fully reasonable, but definitely when you get to start getting the 50s and 60s and 70s even, you definitely want that 4K. Anything higher than 70, congratulations, I like your paycheck size.
Right.
But definitely you might want to start even looking at 6K or even 8K at that point, because you're getting in that same kind of boat with the 1080p at 43-inch. You're just kind of seeing those pixels.
Also, check what sources you're going to have for your TV. Check your cable. If you have a Blu-ray player, if you're rocking standard cable with no high def package, you got only DVDs, you don't have a Blu-ray player, 1080p might actually be fine for you. And you might be able to take that savings. Resolution is not the entire story, though.
No.
The big kind of buzzword in the industry right now, the reason it's come up so much is because they're still trying to get a proper standard for it, but HDR.
Oh, yeah. I know they just recently changed all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier. It's high dynamic range, and really that's going to be that separation in color. So colors are going to look brighter, more vibrant, more disparity between the light tones and the dark tones.
Yeah, those high brights, inky blacks.
Yes. That would be one of the things, that would be a nice value add, I would say, especially in 2023 as we move forward. And again, those image sources get better.
Yep.
You're going to want that color clarity. I've even seen 1080p monitors with really good HDR like blow me away as much as a good 4K monitor.
Yeah.
So again, the resolution's not the whole story there. So, and for gaming, if you're buying for somebody that is a gamer, I feel like you have to have that now.
You gotta have it.
It just shows so much more detail, especially in those computer-generated images that have a lot more nuance to them.
Less gray in those kind of shadow areas. You actually look like you're looking into the shadows. And that's one of the things I've heard a lot from kind of just online in general. I don't have a specific source, but it kind of brings IMAX to home. So it kind of gives you those deep, when you used to be a kid, or even nowadays when you go to the theater, watch the Marvel movies or whatnot, those nice, rich tones and deep blacks. You can bring that home to your living room and everything using HDR. So definitely something to look into to make sure, maybe not be an end-all be-all like we were saying.
Yes.
For which purchase you want. But if you're going between two TVs in the same price roughly, one's HDR, one's not, might want to head over to that HDR. Might as well. Again, like you said, you're buying for the future.
Yeah.
Might as well buy in now.
The one thing, the HDR standard, they are still working through it. I think they finally have it kind of finalized. There are different levels, though. So HDR 10 is going to be the old standard. They realized that they wanted a little bit more nuance to that standard. So now it goes from HDR 600, and it can basically go up to infinity from there. It jumps 200 as the increment. So HDR 600, HDR 800. Basically, you want to try and get close to 1,000, it looks like. That's going to be an actual
a good sweet spot.
Really good sweet spot. But on a smaller TV or on a less important TV, maybe it's in your bedroom or something, you always watch it with the lights off. You could get away
as much.
You could get away with an 800 or even a 600.
Yeah.
There actually are also HDR 400, but what that number is representing is the peak brightness when it's in HDR mode. So you want that number to be as high as possible to get as much brightness as possible. Again, if you're looking at something in a living room where there's a lot of glare, you have windows open, you
might want to bump that number up and
you want to get
make
that
sure
number
you're getting closer to 1,000.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at more of a movie room where you already have the shades drawn, you got your nice comfy couches and already sitting there, you might be able to get with an 800 or 600.
Yeah.
But going any lower, you start to kind of lose quality and other features as well.
Yeah. The reason I even said HDR 600 is the start. I've seen HDR 400. It's almost kind of not even worth it. I wouldn't spend $20 more to get that functionality. 600 is where I would start to look at $50 to $100 more, depending on the size of the TV.
Yep.
I would take that feature in a heartbeat. I would spend that extra money. Anything else for TVs? I mean, obviously, normally your size is limited mostly by your budget and by your wall space. So
well, I don't know. It's coming down. I think it might be more of your wall space.
That's true.
And maybe your wife and significant others, kind of what they want. I know definitely most of us would want to, especially in the tech, want the biggest TV they can get away with. I know for my own fact. But definitely your significant others will probably limit you. You can't take up the whole living room with a TV. But, definitely I think a 55-inch 4K TV with HDR 1000, I think is your good sweet spot. And I think from what we're seeing right now in the news and online, that's kind of where all the deals are going to as well.
Yeah.
Some good deals.
You're going to discount the things that are selling well so that you keep selling more of them. That also means you've spent less of the manufacturing cost because you've spread it out a lot. So the popular stuff is what's going to go on sale. And 55-inch, full HDR, 1000 like you said, 4K, probably looking at $600 to $800, and we're seeing deals to bring it down even a little bit lower. Brings me to my last point, which is going to be the panel type. which is why there can be such a wide swing
Disparity,
on prices. Really, we're looking at 2 for TVs now. We have the old LCD style, and there are different subtypes of LCD that we could even get into, but really there's not much difference between them unless you're a snob, in which case you already know this. I'm not. I don't need to explain
preaching
that
to the
you.
choir.
Yeah, LCD, and then the new one, the newer one, the newest technology that they're pushing is OLED.
Yeah.
And
they have other buzzwords just like the LCD.
Yes.
They're micro LEDs and things like that. ULEDs. They have all those. So you can definitely hit them all, but I'm sure you can explain the specifics on.
Well, OLEDs, the light source is coming from the individual pixels themselves, whereas with the LCD, you do have to have some form of a light panel. And that can lead to some dead areas on the screen that just don't look as nice. They're not getting fully saturated with that light and that color. With the OLEDs, you're getting super bright pixels there that can actually show that light all the way through, kind of blind your eyes a little bit. The downside there is, though, there is some chance for burn-in. So if you're sticking on the same screens a lot, this could be especially big for gaming if you pull up menus a lot. If you're playing something that has a lot of static images that aren't actually moving, you can actually start to see some ghosting of that image.
Yeah, it sticks around for a little while.
And OLED right now, it is more expensive. It's a lot more expensive, actually. That's when you start pushing $1,000 for that same size TV that is $600 otherwise. I don't know if the technology is quite where it needs to be really worth that price.
A full adoption.
Unless you're like an enthusiast. You want to be all about it. So if they're trying to push you towards OLED and you're on the fence, if it's only $100 more, sure, go for it. It's going to last longer in the future. But if it's going to double the price, if not, it's sometimes triple the price of the TV.
It might be something to hold off on.
I would say hold off on that. Don't be the early adopter on that one.
Yeah, don't pay that tax.
Testing it for everyone else. Yeah. Next one is computers. They're a big Black Friday.
Always.
Get to. Businesses look around this time. Families look around this time. When we come to the Apple side, there's really not a lot to say because Apple's computers are all kind of at a proper baseline of performance, and their prices don't change. And you only have the one option, right? It's only Apple. So you're comparing apples to apples, quite literally. When you get to the Windows side of things, there's 40
there's
brands.
The whole rainbow right there.
You have everything. Yeah, apples, oranges, bananas, pears, whatever you want to call it. There's a handful of brands that we absolutely trust, and there's some specific requirements, I would say, for especially Windows 11, and especially if you want to keep your computer around for 5 years, which I want to. Most people want to. They don't want to throw out a computer after a year. So really, I'm looking at Asus. I'm looking at Dell, who's always been there. I'm looking at Lenovo. MSI, potentially. They're kind of on an up and up. They've been decent. HP, of course, I kind of look more for their higher end models to actually.
ProBooks.
Yeah. Is there any that I'm missing there? Those are kind of the big ones. Yeah. Of course, Dell's been around forever. If you have a business account, their customer support is A+. If you're just a standard home buyer,
maybe not so much, but
they're decent.
They try their best.
They're decent.
I can say better words about Dell's residential support than I can for some other brands.
Yes. Just be careful when they try to jam warranties and extra add-ons. Do your research there. See if it's actually a good deal getting the warranties. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they actually get them out to you for pretty much no extra money. But brands aside, because we also use brands that aren't well known, and we sell a ton of computers with those. Brands aside, 2023, how much? Let's talk the stats, which is always going to be alphabet soup here.
Insert Subway Surfer video here.
Yeah, you got to keep your attention going. Processor-wise, that's kind of the brains of the computer. I'm thinking you don't really have much reason to buy the old Celeron and Pentium lines
And they're actually, Intel's getting rid of them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at some Black Friday deals and it says Celeron, it says Pentium, it says, what's their other word for the N100 or N95?
Any of those, I would steer clear.
And then on the AMD side, what do they call theirs? The A9, the Athlon, the A10, whatever model they're up to now.
Yep.
I'm going to say stay away from them.
Yeah. Unless you're looking for a laptop or a computer that you just go on Facebook and nothing else, maybe look at recipe 1 or 2 here. But even then, you end up paying the same price as a higher-end laptop.
Yes.
That you might as well look at some little more beefier kind of processors. You're not getting that same bang for the buck again, since they are going out of business, or not out of business, coming out of end of life and all.
Yes.
You might not want to look at them.
Well, and they'll be around. They're going to just make up a new name for them. But really, it's worth the $50 more to go with either the i3 or the i5, and then on the AMD side, Ryzen 3, Ryzen 5. For most people at home, that's going to be probably all they need, though. The i7 and i9, the Ryzen 7 and 9, those start to get more into the performance.
More
and
enthusiast.
The enthusiast level. Basically, if you need one of those processors, you're going to know it.
Right. You've already done your research and you kind of already figured you need them. But if this is all new information to you, definitely a Ryzen 3, Ryzen 5, Intel i5 or i3, kind of the 3s and 5s.
Yeah.
That's the variants you're looking for. They give you plenty of power, but plenty of not too much.
Not too much power.
It's kind of like your Honda Civic. You can go pretty far.
Yes.
But it's still pretty tame.
The bigger number, the more important statistic, I would feel, is going to be memory.
Yes.
That seems to be where a lot of people are getting stuck. Now, luckily, memory is one of the easiest things to upgrade in most cases, but one of the things that I'm seeing out there still is just a ton of computers with 8 gigs of RAM. That's what they call it. Capital R, capital A, capital M. If you see that number, 8 gigs of RAM,
again,
I'm going to say stay away.
Unless you're going to, again, Facebook and recipes, that's it. I would still steer clear, because computers are getting, they're getting more powerful, especially with like the operating systems and what actually runs the computer. It needs more to run. 8 gigs was fine back in 2015, 2016. That was the standard. But now coming into almost 2024 now, 16 gigs is kind of where it's at for anything, especially if you're going to do a little more than just web browsing. If you're doing more schoolwork or business work on it, or even just kind of some gaming. 16 gigs is kind of a good sweet spot where you're not spending too much for no reason, but you're getting what you need to get.
I've seen 12 gig models. They're not as common. It normally jumps from 8 to 16, but 12 I would say is going to be fine for most people that aren't using a computer very frequently, or they're only opening a couple web pages at a time. But like you said, as soon as you start getting into gaming and even productivity in some cases,
just
if you're
doing
using
some homework and stuff,
Word, or you're using Excel and you're like actually using it, not just typing something up real quick, you're going to run out of space even at 12 pretty quickly. You're going to want 16, I would feel, in 2023. And then moving forward, 16. Now, once you get to 16, you're kind of at a good point. I don't see much reason, again, unless you already know that you need more.
You would usually know.
Yes. There's no reason to go to 24 or even 32. That
would be gives us kind of overkill. Kind of future-proofing. Hopefully, when you buy a computer, it's a good spend. And hopefully, you're going to keep that for 5, 6, even 10 years, depending on the exact hardware. So 16 gigs, we've been seeing, again, same trend from back in 2010 and all. Anyone that was sitting around that point, they're starting to see the age of their hardware, but it's not the RAM's fault. When they were sitting at 16 gigs, which was a lot back then. So yeah, hopefully it's 16 gigs from now going forward. You should see it for a while, good 5-6 years at
Hopefully,
least.
yeah. Now the other strategy there is to just completely spend up front and come out with a top of the line i7, get 32 gigs of RAM now, and hope that your computer can make it 10 years instead of 5 years. And that is a valid strategy. We usually see that a lot. In fact, it's usually easier to upgrade the computers that are already a little bit better.
Right.
It's less of a choke point. So especially if you do use a local computer repair shop, whether it's us or not,
Yeah, anyone.
over-speccing for now usually gives you a lot longer of a tail in the future to be able to do those quick upgrades, do that quick maintenance, and just kind of keep things moving. Which brings us to kind of the last real metric here, storage space. This is a contentious item. I'm kind of in the boat of who cares, because everything's getting cloud backed up.
Yeah.
But
The biggest thing, kind of the one thing you really should care about is solid state drives. You should never have mechanical or what they would consider a hard drive. You want to make sure you're at solid state or SSD. That's what's going to make or break it. Storage wise, you will probably know you'll know if you need more than 500 gigs or something.
Yeah.
Most things are in the cloud nowadays. You're using your Google Drives, your Dropboxes, things like that, your iClouds, what have you. So most storage you can keep just fine in the cloud, but you want to make sure you have that solid state drive, just because at that point there's no moving parts. If you're picking up and moving your laptop around or just shutting it and tossing your bag, you don't have to worry about that platter spinning down and not damaging itself. Everything's, nothing's moving. So, and that's simply going to give you that longevity and hopefully, again, let you go 5, 6, even maybe 10 years down the road without having to worry about it.
And you can always add an external drive. You can always, add more storage on in other means. But if you're following our other recommendations, you're probably not going to end up with a 256 anyway.
Right,
You're probably
looking at that
getting
500.
a 500 just because those prices have come down so much. Terabyte would be great. Like if it's only $20 more to get one with a terabyte,
might as well.
Go for it, sure. But I wouldn't overspend hundreds of dollars to make sure I have a terabyte.
Yeah.
Especially,
Only caveat would be is if you're gaming.
Yes.
If your son's big into gaming or daughter or whoever, child's big into gaming or even you.
Yeah.
Games are getting bigger. I know what the latest Call of Duty game was, almost 60 gigs or 70 gigs on loan.
Forza was 118.
Yeah, it's hefty.
Yes.
Even Minecraft, which used to be the thin and light game, it's starting to get multiple gigabytes per game or per update. So definitely you could maybe, if you're looking at gaming, going up to that terabyte, maybe 2 terabyte, just to make sure you have enough storage. And luckily hard drives are most times, asterisk obviously, can be upgraded easily in the future and whatnot, whether we upgrade the storage or add additional storage. So even if you get it today and 2 months, 3 months, 2 years, 5 years, what have you down the road, and you're starting to run on slow space, one of your local repair shops should be able to kind of help you along and get you upgraded. And most times you won't even know the difference except for you have more space.
Yeah.
So any lost programs or data.
Especially if you're buying a good drive to start with. Yeah,
Right.
you won't see necessarily a speed increase, but definitely that storage amount. The one other thing that we touched on a lot in this kind of review here was smart home devices. Any good general tips? I know I'm actually not that big of a smart home person. I do like my Ring stuff. You do dabble a little bit more in that realm.
Dabble enough. I can walk around my house and not have to touch a light switch. All my lights turn on for me automatically. So I do dabble a lot. It all depends on what you're exactly looking for. I know a good first step for people is going with those Hue or TP smart lights. You can easily pop a light bulb in and have your Alexa control it. That's a good first step. I know you can easily pop those around your house and you can say, insert smart home device here, turn on my kitchen lights or turn off my kitchen lights. I know it's great, especially when I'm trying to wrangle all the animals to go to bed. I don't have to worry about turning on, running around, turning my lights off. I can just say, again, insert smart home here, turn off all my lights, and it turns them all off. I know it's definitely a nice to have, but the prices are coming down a lot, especially since you can bundle with a lot of other products. So it definitely, if you're looking into that kind of thing, or a little more tech savvy, not even terribly too much, definitely something you can easily play with and play around with. Can have a lot of fun with, and definitely can scratch that tech itch without breaking the bank too much.
We'll say, I think the one thing to keep in mind, obviously, name brands, and then me being the cybersecurity expert, you want to have them on a separate Wi-Fi if you know how to set that up, and that is something obviously we can help with. That you just don't want it being able to talk to everything else that's on your network, your phones, your TVs, your phones and your computers. Your TVs are the one of the things you want to kick off possibly. That there's been a lot of cases where they found that they are collecting either information or data, something along those lines, and they're shipping it off to another country.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's your refrigerator doing that or your doorbell doing that. And that just puts a weird feeling.
Fully doom and gloom, but it's definitely something to be worried about as things get more smart and interconnected.
Yes.
Nowadays, like you were saying, your doorbell, your fridge, your dishwasher. Even I set my parents' dishwasher up on their Wi-Fi. I was blown away that he's like, "Yeah, I can start my dishes from my phone on the way home." I couldn't believe it.
I don't understand that one because I feel like once you put the last dish in,
you just hit start.
You just hit start.
Yeah,
right, I could
and
see.
this is coming from the smart home guy.
But okay, I'm sure somebody out there loves their smart dishwasher.
Right.
Maybe your parents do. Another one that we didn't really touch on, and I just want to mention that real quick. Speakers.
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing a lot of good deals on them, but
I know I saw one from JBL, and now you saying that, I wonder if I can find it in 2 seconds. Probably not.
I know JBL, one of the cool things that they have going on, which a couple other speakers have emulated as well, is the ability to pair multiples together. So if you and your friends all go out and buy the same speaker, you have a big get-together, maybe outdoors, you spread them out,
around.
you link them all up, and they're kind of acting as portable surround sound, which is kind of cool. I'm not seeing a ton of huge deals, and
no, like I was saying, I found it here, JBL Boombox 2.
Yes.
Normally $400. It's one of their heftier, bigger speakers. Definitely for your outdoor parties and whatnot. Normally $400, only $350 right now. So it looks like kind of the Bluetooth speaker run to the bank. It's going down. But it's posting up some good specs, up to 24 hours battery life, some decent Bluetooth range, and it's water resistance, not proof. So definitely if you're partying out and it, starts to drizzle or rain, you don't have to run and grab the speaker first, maybe clear your food, and then grab the speaker afterwards. But not really massive deals. But they're definitely out there, and I definitely know a lot of people are still grabbing them.
Yeah.
They definitely, overall, as a whole of a market, have come down in price. $400 is a little bit steeper, but it is one of their heftier models, especially with that water resistance, maybe take it to the pool or beach day or whatnot. But, I mean, they come down in size and price.
Yeah.
So I know JBL's a good brand. Trying to think of a couple others.
I found Ultimate Ears, which sounds like their line is called the Wonder Boom line. Everything about that sounds like it is off-brand garbage. But no, they're actually really good, and they actually do that same thing with the multi-speaker link, where you can squad them all up together. For a one-person speaker, probably looking at about 70 to 100, maybe 110 for a good quality speaker that has rich enough bass. And that's going to be, like I said, 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 people all in a tiny room together. That's going to be fine.
Yeah.
When you start to get over that $120 mark, I start to look to entertaining a medium-sized room, and hopefully up
outdoor
to
space.
15, 16 people. Yeah, now as I approach that $200 mark, outdoor space, tons of people. So keep that in mind. Luckily, a lot of stores have those on the shelf that you can demo a little bit.
Test.
And you can
Blare
give
out
them a
the
try.
tech department a little bit.
Yeah.
I know Alex came in clutch here.
Yes.
We have the JBL Extreme 2 Portable.
That's a great one.
Which normally $350 all the way down to $179.99. So almost $170 savings. So almost 50%. And that one's a pretty good one, pretty big. You're looking at the same water resistance, so for outdoor, up to
Yes.
15 hours battery life. It doesn't have that multi-channel, but it has a built-in microphone. So I know a couple of our people keep them in their car and whatnot, so you could use it as a Bluetooth speaker or whatnot. So
This
pretty
one
well.
will also let you connect multiple devices to it
Okay.
to control the music. So you can kind of do some fun handoff. Let your, family's own DJ, wannabe DJ,
Yeah, right.
amateur,
You're not handing around a cell phone
amateur
anymore.
mixer. Yeah, they can just jump right in and add stuff up into the queue, which is kind of cool. I feel like that's about it. That was a pretty
Yeah. It was a good wrap
thorough
up on
tour
Black
of
Friday. Yeah.
what's out there.
Black Friday deals of 2023.
Of course, we can't touch on everything. There's hundreds of deals. You do have to use some common sense. Look at the reviews. Look at the pricing. Also keep in mind, we mentioned it a little bit earlier. If it's too good to be true,
It might be.
it might just be too good to be true.
Yeah.
We have lots of third-party sellers on Amazon, Walmart, Target. There was another one I just saw the other day that blew my mind. But when you have these third-party sellers and everything basically becomes eBay, you have to make sure that you are buying from either the brand itself, Amazon itself,
Or a reputable deal.
whatever or a reputable dealer. I've gotten a flash drive in the mail instead of a
Oh, yeah.
$400 computer part. We've gotten hair ties in the mail instead of our $100 computer part. So you got to make
Definitely
sure.
happens, but luckily if you're
Yeah.
buying from people like Amazon or Dell or Target, most times they got your back, the actual brand itself.
Yes.
So you usually even reach out to their customer support. They're going to take care of you. As long as you're upfront with them, they'll understand. Things do happen, and mistakes do happen,
Yeah.
whether it was on purpose or not.
Right.
So who knows? You never immediately jump down to the brand's throat. It could have been a full-on accident.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just
And I know
keep that in mind. Stay safe out there. Definitely make sure you're buying proper deals.
Yep, and if you ever have any questions, I know any of your local tech businesses or whatnot, or IT repair shops definitely can help you.
Yeah.
If you just want to know about building a custom gaming PC or whether or not this PC or KitchenAid device or whatnot
Yes.
is a good brand or a good deal, or even if that seller seems legit, I know they always can help us, and I know we can too.
I know that's about. We're all gonna celebrate our holidays, but I know on Friday we will be just answering phones. We're gonna all be at home, sleeping off the crazy amount of turkey that we ate the night before. But we will be answering phones. We hope to get some questions in. Hey, is
Yeah.
this a good deal? And we're gonna give you
We're here
some
to help.
advice. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be quick advice as we jump on to the next call, but just to have a sounding board. Of course, if you already work with us, our emails are available as well. As we get through the holiday season, more deals are going to pop up, and sometimes you're going to feel like you have to grab them, and sometimes listen to the voice of reason and make sure you're actually getting a good deal.
Yeah.
I did mention it before. Every online store does it too. Just beware of this. Watch for the, hey, we're going to list this at the price that it came out at 5 years ago, and then show you the discount. There are a couple of resources out there that we'll collect and put in the links, but some price trackers to actually make sure that when an item goes on sale for 89% off, it's not that original day one list price that it hasn't sold for in 3 or 4 years. It actually is a legitimate deal. So keep all that in mind, and hopefully you make all of your family, friends, and loved ones happy with some pretty cool tech gifts and some of the great tech deals that are out there. So that's going to be it for our test podcast. Again, hopefully you're seeing this. Hopefully we did a good enough job to be able to post this. We would hope to take this live. That would be the idea, and have a chat set up that we could have some interaction from the viewers. That's why we'll always be staring at screens as well as the camera instead of our own beautiful faces. But hopefully this was fun, informative. Yeah, and thank you for continuing to support in whatever way that looks like. And we're going to add more features and more bells and whistles as we move forward with this.
Right. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Ring that bell.